market here as well. Now, okay, all that joking aside, now let's get down to what I like to call the 400-pound reptile in the room, and that, of course, is, you know, the whole reptilian angle to your research. I know you sort of went down that road starting in 1999. That's been like 11 years ago now. So how do you feel about sort of always having that attached to your stuff? You know, you're always sort of like linked to the reptilian theory. I told people I was going to be interviewing you, and that was like the first thing they mentioned. So it's like you're sort of like a band that has the one great hit that everybody wants to hear all the time. So, I mean, how do you feel about all that?
I don't feel anything, Tim, really. I mean, you know, if you research something and you conclude that it's the phenomenon is real, then being attached to it is fair enough. You know, see, when I started out on this journey 20 years ago, consciously anyway, my goal was to uncover what was happening in the world, who was really pulling the strings behind the people that appeared to be in power, and what was reality? Who are we? What are we doing here? What's this all about, this thing called life? And so my interest from the start was going wherever the information took me. And I don't have any preconceived political ideas, nationalistic ideas, cultural ideas, religious ideas or beliefs, and therefore there was no editing or censorship, if you like, of where I would go based on preconceived idea and preconceived belief. So where it takes me is where it takes me, and if people want to ridicule it or whether they're interested in it, well, you know, that's for them to decide. You know, I'm not here to tell people what to think and tell people what to believe. I'm just here to put information in front of people. Make of it what you will. If you like this bit and that doesn't feel right, well, that's fair enough. If you like it all, well, that's fair enough. If you like none of it, that's equally fair enough. Because, you know, the world is full of people. The whole system is full of people, and so much of the conspiracy research movement is full of people, to a large extent, who are telling people this is what you must believe. We're drowning in that stuff. We don't want any more. We're drowning in religious leaders of various and endless kinds, who are all the same program under different names anyway, saying, if you don't believe this, hell and damnation. You must believe this. If you don't believe this, you're wrong. I mean, that's a load of old rubbish. I mean, what we need to do is to be at peace with ourselves, pursuing information wherever it may take us, without, oh my God, what will they think of if I talk about this? I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
And also be at peace in the same way, Tim, of saying, well, we must be at peace with how people receive that information. So how people react to what I put out is entirely up to them. It's none of my business. It's their business. So I'm at peace to go anywhere the information takes me, and I'm at peace with how people receive it. I mean, when you cut away all the kind of programmed reactions, like a software program, press enter when you put this data in and you get the same reaction from every computer. Once we cut away from that and take a deep breath, you just see how even people who go on and on about censorship and suppression of information, who also jump on people who react against their information. I mean, hold on a second. You know, we're either in favor of the free flow of information and let people have the basic human right of deciding what they think of it, or we're not, and I am. And so I have no problem with being attached to the reptilian thing at all. In fact, quite the opposite, because I would strongly suggest it is a fundamental aspect, a fundamental foundation to what is actually behind the families that increasingly demonstrably, are running the global economic, political, business and media system.
Okay. Now, I was looking at some of, I shudder to admit it, but I was looking at Wikipedia to get sort of a more rounded idea of what other people are saying, you know, and I found it interesting, you know, that there's sort of like interpretations of your work here, especially the reptile part, where people say, you know, this kind of took me by surprise, where it's a Swiftian allegory, which or that you don't even really necessarily believe like the reptile part, that you're using it as a metaphor for something else. But is that the case, or do you straight up, you know?
Oh my God, I think I've lost the will to live, Tim.